Possessed by the power of the spirits of the floating ladies, Ye Qianxing continues to drive on the dead end along with Ye Qianxing. In the middle of that deadly situation, 205 starts woofing at them. With the help of the Spirit Pet Creation Simulator, 205's spirit manages to communicate with his master. And just like that, Ye Qianxing snaps back to reality. He was dumbfounded to realize they would crash to a dead end soon. So, to prevent their impending doom, Ye Qianxing takes over the steering wheel and maneuvers the car before it hits the dead end. Truck-kun almost isekai them both. Despite avoiding that close call and continuously calling her name, Ye Qianxing is still under the possession of the spirits of the floating ladies. Seeing this, Ye Qianxing starts freaking out, knowing he cannot stop the vehicle since Ye Qianxing is stepping on the pedal. Of course, the most adorable husky is there to save the day. 205 advises Ye Qianxing to use shock on her, which he follows. Voila! Ye Qianxing snaps back to reality too. Then she uses her GTA driving skills to run the vehicle properly. Fortunately, she made it just in time to use the brake before they crashed to another dead end. However, Ye Qianxing hasn't calculated the inertia from that brake, causing him to be thrown outside and crash into the solid ground wall. Seeing how Ye Qianxing got thrown out, Ye Qianxing comes out with her two massive personalities to check if he is fine. Basically, he's not okay. But she decided to be airheaded and ask if she's okay. Bloody hell. I mean bloody head. Ye Qianxing's head got injured from the strong impact, yet he still managed to give Ye Qianxing a sweet wink. Despite his situation, he still talks about Ye Qianxing as a soft-hearted girl. Of course, Ye Qianxing is not a fool not to realize what he is doing, so she does the best thing to do with head-injured people, which is to drop them and let them hit their heads again. After that, Ye Qianxing asks Ye Qianxing where they are exactly, for they seem lost. Ye Qianxing then explains to her that they got caught up in an illusion caused by the ghost-type evil spirit. Hearing that, Ye Qianxing wonders how she escaped the illusion. This cues the entrance of the favorite husky of the year, 205, whom Ye Qianxing has given some credit for his great help. Emerging from the gate of contract, 205 gets excited to land on the two massive balloons of Ye Qianxing. Realizing what 205 is planning to do and knowing what Ye Qianxing can do, Ye Qianxing tries to stop his perverted spirit pet but fails. And just that, 205 receives its one-leg kick, leaving a huge lump on its face and crashing to the solid ground wall. Ye Qianxing explains to Ye Qianxing that 205 is a demon-type spirit pet, so he's the best choice against ghost types. Ye Qianxing is aware of that factor, so she lets 205 live. On the other hand, 205 is barely standing and is still seeing the stars it gets from the powerful kick. To Ye Qianxing, demon type is like silly type, so she focuses on how they will complete their mission since they are running out of time. That said, Ye Qianxing asks his spirit pet to track down the smell of the evil spirit, which 205 immediately follows. With the use of Tanjiro's sense of smell, 205 manages to find the exact location of the evil spirit. When they arrive at the exact destination, 205 dog instinct kicks in, and it starts woofing like never before. Recognizing the signal from 205, the two get their guards on for any possible nearby attacks. That said, Ye Qianxing opens her gate of contract and releases her spirit pet, which she calls Blackie. Sheesh, that name sounds very unique and one of a kind. His spirit pet is called Swift Thunder Panther that belongs to the lightning types. It has 2 1/2 star growth type appraisal with E4 level. Rolling Thunder and Heaven's Wrath are its special skills, while Rock types are its weakness. On the other hand, its advancement condition and evolution path are still unknown. Considering that their opponent is a ghost type, Ye Qianxing tells Ye Qianxing that it is normal not to see them. Needless to say, both 205 and Blackie are great counters to ghost types, so it surely won't attack them up front. Hearing all that, Ye Qianxing gets excited about it. Bro is ready to show off, so help me like this video to support Ye Qianxing. Ye Qianxing asks Ye Qianxing what he plans to do next. He did not answer the question directly, but he told 205 to get ready. And just like that, 205 shows off its true form as a majestic Cerberus, which leaves Ye Qianxing in awe. Ye Qianxing asks 205 if it can see the enemy, which 205 confirms. That said, Ye Qianxing orders 205 he use Nether Fire Strike against it. Bada bing, bada boom. The invisible enemy appears right before their eyes. This evil spirit is called resentful ghost that belongs to the ghost types. It has these 7 levels. Dreamland and aura of resentment are its special skills, while demon and enlightening types are its weakness. On the other hand, its advancement condition and evolution path are still unknown. After 205 reveals its hidden presence, it shouts so loud that it hurts Ye Qianxing and Ye Qianxing badly. Pissed off by the painful sound that enters her ears, Ye Qianxing orders Blackie to attack the resentful ghost with heaven's wrath. That said, Blackie summons strong dark purple lighting from the heavens and targets its enemy. As expected, the attack is so effective that it disintegrates the body of the resentful ghost. After that, Ye Qianxing felt relieved that her screaming had stopped already. However, the problem did not stop from that, for 205 warned him of an attacker from behind. He was taken aback when he saw Ye Qianxing attacking him with his dagger, and just like that, he almost got isekai by Dagger-kun. Since Ye Qianxing is not fully aware of what is happening to Ye Qianxing, he reminds 205 not to do anything rash. While wondering about Ye Qianxing's change of heart, he realizes that she got affected by the evil spirit's aura of resentment. Her resentment towards Ye Qianxing is amplified, so she is attacking him now. This also means that the resentful ghost is still alive and wants them to kill each other. Ye Qianxing advances her fast blade strikes against Ye Qianxing. However, she is extremely unstable since she is not in control of her body. While shock worked last time, Ye Qianxing hesitates to use it again, for it is too risky. Thus, the best way to wake her is to destroy the resentful ghost before she kills him. Ye Qianxing commands his spirit pet to look for and destroy the evil spirit, which 205 immediately follows. After finding it, 205 uses Nether Fire Strike against it while Ye Qianxing tries to wake Ye Qianxing. Meanwhile, the completely confused Blackie doesn't know what to do, so it simply sits there and watches everything. Ye Qianxing notices it, and he immediately commands it to do its part in helping 205 to destroy the evil spirit. Blackie and 205 team up to do a unison raid with Nether Fire and Heaven's Wrath. Despite all the destructive power, the evil spirit is still not destroyed. Ye Qianxing then remembers that its soul is restored at the center of its eyebrows, so he commands 205 and Blackie to focus their attack on that part. Unfortunately, his lack of focus on Ye Qianxing's advances causes him to receive a critical hit in his abdomen. While lying on the ground, Ye Qianxing decided to send him to his demise. Apparently, Ye Qianxing positions herself on top of him to sit on his meaty stick while stabbing him to get isekai into another world. Unable to block Ye Qianxing, Ye Qianxing wonders if his fate is to die at the hands of a woman. As he is about to face the world of death, Ye Qianxing remembers Kuei-Wu's words about the reality of being a spirit pet master. He then confirms that this path is a life where no one can assure safety at all. A few inches away from his throat being cut, Ye Qianxing thinks of his desire to live a bit longer. And just like that, the collective effort of 205 and Blackie hits the vulnerable spot of evil spirit, ending its miserable life. This, of course, breaks the evil possession of Ye Qianxing, giving Ye Qianxing another chance to live. He is very happy to see Ye Qianxing snap back to reality and eventually pass out. Moments later, Ye Qianxing is seen treating Ye Qianxing's wound. In the face of spectacular beauty and 2 massive personalities, Ye Qianxing gives another shot at becoming the god of Riz but fails as Ye Qianxing pulls the bondage to inflict him more pain. Ye Qianxing reminds her that she only helps him because she is responsible for what happened to him. That said, Ye Qianxing thanked her for that. Soon, 205 and Blackie come back to them, with 205 biting a mysterious pearl. It is then revealed that it is a soul pearl, a powerful essence of an E-grade evil spirit. When 205 gives it to him, Ye Qianxing recognizes that it is a soul pearl, which surprises Ye Qianxing as she did not expect him to know that much. This cues for his Asian roots, flexing how he's a straight-A student. Ye Qianxing tells him to let 205 eat it. Hearing that from her, Ye Qianxing cannot believe the fact that he is the one receiving the reward, which made Ye Qianxing explain why the drop item goes to him. And just like that, he allows 205 to eat it. After satisfyingly swallowing its master's ball, pearl, 205 levels up from F5 to E3, and its evolution path toward becoming a 2-headed Cerberus has been revealed. While Ye Qianxing is very happy with the outcome, the Spirit Pet Creation Simulator appears to give him his mysterious chest. Upon opening the chest, he receives the following: Blue Water Cube, Emperor Scepter, and Ancient Pillar. Seeing him like a child who is given his favorite candy, Ye Qianxing wonders why he's suddenly acting like that. It turns out that Ye Qianxing is the only one who can see the spirit pet creation simulator and the treasure box rewards. Weirded out by his action, Ye Qianxing asks him what he is thinking about. Realizing that he is the only one who can see those stuff, he just pretends it's nothing and tells Ye Qianxing that he is just happy that 205 leveled up because of the Soul Pearl. Moments later, the two have safely returned to the Carefree Mercenary Group headquarters. Ye Xiaoyao is very happy that they have successfully completed the mission, and he is ready to give them the commission that they deserve. Ye Qianxing tells his father to give her share to Ye Qianxing since he was the one who contributed the most to the task completion, and he got injured. Hearing that from his daughter, Ye Xiaoyao praises Ye Qianxing for his great skills. Ye Qianxing is obviously very happy with what he heard, but since he wants to be the god of Riz, he does not miss praising Ye Qianxing, despite the fact that she was a total disaster. Ye Xiaoyao respects her daughter's decision to give her share to Ye Qianxing, so he brings out a bundle of paper bills, which shocks Ye Qianxing. He did not realize that the commission for a 2-star mission would be that much. Unfortunately, his expectations got crushed instantly when Ye Xiaoyao handed him a total of 1,000 bills. Take note, it was actually 500 per person, but since Ye Qianxing gave him her share, he received 1,000. Wow, the design is very scammy. Ye Qianxing asks Ye Xiaoyao if he is not mistaken because their commission is so little. Ye Xiaoyao then explains that they need operating funds, too, and that's why he is getting a little bit of the total commission. Ye Qianxing directly tells him that he desperately needs money. However, at the back of his mind, he's getting mad for Ye Xiaoyao takes most of the money. All of a sudden, Ye Xiaoyao pretended that a friend of his was calling and ignored Ye Qianxing's concern, leaving his jaw dropped. Ye Qianxing gets so pissed off, for he knows he is just faking the call since he is using a remote control as a phone. A few days later, Ye Qianxing attends his class, where his advisor announces that final exams will divide them into different classes according to their grades. Moreover, each teacher in the class will conduct the first test, where they will gauge the quality of their spirit pet. After hearing that, Zhou Wei smirks like he's planning to do something wicked again. Meanwhile, the teacher reminded those without spirit pet not to be discouraged. It turns out that they have special equipment to test their soul talent. Zhou Wei, the king of bullies, starts laughing at Ye Qianxing. Zhou Wei calls the attention of Ye Qianxing and tells him that he doesn't need to attend at all since he doesn't have a soul pet or soul talent. Hence, Zhou Wei is urging him to drop out already. On the other hand, Ye Qianxing just smiles and tells Zhou Wei that he just recently recovered from the injury he gave him, and yet he's looking for a fight again. He even added that since he is confident that he won't pass, he wants him to make a bet with him, whether he can pass or not. After all the preparations, Professor Milker stands in front of them with her massive jiggly-wiggly bazookas to commence the test. She wants them to come forward once their name is called and summon their spirit pet. The first student is a guy with a bow cut named Zhang San. After moving forward, Zhang San summons his spirit pet called Black Beetle. Professor Milker gets a blood sample from the spirit pet and puts it in the special testing equipment. Unfortunately, there is no movement happening, which means he will be in a common class due to his average spirit pet quality. After hearing that, Zhang San felt devastated because the Black Beetle was the best spirit pet his family bought for him. Next in line is Zhou Wei. As expected from this show-off gangster, he always has his lackeys cheering for him in the background. And just like that, Zhou Wei opens up a green gate of contract and summons a giant green mantis that looks so deadly. This spirit pet is called Twin Blade Mantis that belongs to the Fight and Wind types. It has 2 1/2 star growth type appraisal with E2 level. Twin Blade Slash and Wind Blade are its special skills, while Lightning and Flying types are its weakness. On the other hand, its advancement condition and evolution path are still unknown. This made Ye Qianxing wonder since he knew Zhou Wei's spirit pet was the Ironback Wolf. This made him realize how much money Zhou Wei has since he can simply change his spirit pet whenever he wants. Meanwhile, after Professor Milker pours the Twin Blade Mantis blood sample into the equipment, it actively reacts, giving Zhou Wei elite quality. It is then immediately announced in the class that he has an elite quality spirit pet, so he will be in the second best hot class. As usual, his lackeys celebrate his achievement and pour him several compliments as if he is the GOAT of this manhwa series. Soon after that, Xiaoyi approaches Ye Qianxing to ask if everything is okay and if Zhou Wei stops bullying him. which he affirms to stop her worries. Seeing them together, Zhou Wei gets irritated as he looks at his unreachable star, Xiao, staring at Ye Qianxing passionately with genuine care. However, when he saw Xiao pressing her soft balloons on Ye Qianxing's arms, he lost it all and called out his nemesis to remind him of their bet. It turns out that Zhou Wei made a bet that if Ye Qianxing passes the test, he will eat poop. Ew, jitrippin no kizzy. That said, Ye Qianxing reiterated to him that he better remember what he said, and if he ever lost the bet, Zhou Wei could do whatever he wanted. While in the middle of the heated conversation, Xiaoyi's name is called. As expected from the daughter of Dolores Cambridge and Albus Dumbledore, she gets perfect quality, which means she will be in the best top class. After hearing that, she wows everyone in her class. Ye Qianxing is very impressed and happy about her friend's achievement. As the test continues, Professor Milker calls Ye Qianxing's name, for he is the next to undergo the test. Zhou Wei then tries to piss him off and mocks him to prepare himself to kneel down and lick his shoes. Xiaoyi bids her good luck as he moves forward, and with a sweet smile, Ye Qianxing thanks her for that. Knowing that Ye Qianxing doesn't have a spirit pet, his classmates wonder why he steps forward, and they believe that he should be tested for the soul talent instead. As he continues to walk, he keeps hearing people bad-mouthing about him. They even think that Ye Qianxing should just drop out. With all the prejudice they have against him, they all get flabbergasted when Ye Qianxing opens the gate of contract. Above anyone else, Zhou Wei cannot believe that Ye Qianxing has contracted with his spirit pet because he has a damaged spiritual power. A loud howl coming from the gate of contract made everyone look forward to what their eyes were about to witness. And just like that, 205 descended from the gate of contract to show them all of his fierce looks and a loud woof. After a moment of silence upon realizing that Ye Qianxing summons a husky, all of his classmates make him a laughingstock. Zhou Wei, on the other hand, recognizes it as the husky that his Iranback wolf killed and wonders how the heck it became a spirit pet. Worrying that he might have just ended up eating shit, he thought of a way to save himself from that horror. So he called Ye Qianxing's attention and mocked his spirit pet. Meanwhile, 205 looks at Professor Milker with his perverted smile and a strong desire to feel her two massive personalities. Zhou Wei continues to mock Ye Qianxing and his spirit pet, leaving everyone laughing at him. All of a sudden, Ye Qianxing asks Zhou Wei where he plans to broadcast himself eating shit if he will pass the test. Ye Qianxing's words put Zhou Wei in a very awkward situation, so he just tries to be the cool kid in his class, asserting he's a man of his word. However, he claims that he agreed to do it if he passed the final exams. Zhou Wei is confident that even if Ye Qianxing becomes a spirit master with his husky, he cannot rely on it with the compatibility test. Ye Qianxing gives him an okay, do-as-you-please face and thinks about how Zhou Wei plays with words, changing the test into the final exam. Ye Qianxing believes that when the time comes, he will defeat him until he quits. Then he tells Professor Milker, whose real name is Jiang Lin, that his spirit pet is ready for the test. When Professor Milker gets 205's blood sample, it cannot hide its perverted smile, having been able to witness the twin bazookas closely. When Professor Milker drops the blood sample at the testing equipment, it shines so brightly like the sun in mid-daylight, shocking the two professors around. As the equipment continues to cast strong, dazzling light, all of his classmates are left dumbfounded. Professor Milker cannot believe her eyes witnessing that the equipment is releasing like it never did before. And just like that, Professor Milker announces that he gets perfect quality, which means he will be part of the best top class. At that very moment, Zhou Wei feels the presence of trouble down his spine. Now help me to spam hashtag karma is real. Fake fans wouldn't even know about it. After hearing the outcome of Ye Qianxing's test, all of his classmates felt so full after eating the huge amount of words they had thrown at him earlier. Zhou Wei, in particular, starts releasing cold sweat as Ye Qianxing reminds him of his poop-eating bet. Xiaoyi, of course, congratulates Ye Qianxing for making it on top with her. This made Zhou Wei feel worse than ever. Having all of the students tested, Professor Milker officially closes the first round. However, she also reminded everyone to prepare for the second round of tests, which will be done at the Demon Spirit Forest. Hearing that, the students felt horrified, knowing how dangerous the forest was. Apparently, the Demon Spirit Forest is filled with E and D grade evil spirits. Professor Milker reminded them that although the school will ensure their safety, nothing is really absolute. That said, Professor Milker expects them all to fully embrace themselves for anything that might come their way. Meanwhile, after hearing about the demon spirit forest, Zhou Wei thought it would be the perfect place for his evil plan against Ye Qianxing. He strongly believes that if he successfully executes it, his problem will be solved. Outside the academy, Ye Qianxing is walking alone while thinking about the next practical exam in the demon spirit forest. Suddenly, he heard a familiar voice calling out his name. It turns out that the one calling him is Sutilla, the handsome young master of their city. Seemingly, Sutilla attends the same academy, and they are at the same year level, but in different classes. Ye Qianxing asks why a rich kid like him is not studying in the city's top academies. Sutilla then smiles at him and flexes his family's remarkable and abundant access to countless resources, and he only studies there because it's closer to where he lives. Hearing him say that, Ye Qianxing smiles at him. However, deep inside, he wants him to stop showing off casually. Not long after, Sutilla asks Ye Qianxing about his exam result. Ye Qianxing tells him that he got into the top class and asks about Sutilla's exam result. Sutilla happily informs him that he got into the same class, which means they will be classmates soon. He then invites Ye Qianxing to celebrate their achievement that day together, and that is how their love story started. Just kidding. Ye Qianxing is very hesitant to accept his invitation because he knows to himself that he cannot afford wherever the young master chooses to celebrate. Seeing him very undecided, Sutilla realizes that Ye Qianxing can't just spend as he pleases. That said, Sutilla grabs Ye Qianxing's hand and happily invites him to his treat. At that moment, a strong feeling accumulates in their guts, ascending to their hearts, and a slow-mo happens as a cue for a blossoming love story. Just chaffing around again. Moments later, the two arrive at a grandiose building. As they move out from Sutilla's newly released 2023 model Tesla ride, he offers to show Ye Qianxing around. Basically, they went to the first-class club in Jiangnan City, where most people can't get in due to lack of money. As soon as Sutilla entered the club, he requested the attendant to prepare him the best room they could offer. When the two enter, Zhou Wei sees them and decides to approach his favorite nemesis. Suddenly, Zhou Wei mocked him publicly by bringing out his inability to afford to stay in that place. Zhou Wei even accuses Ye Qianxing of secretly coming inside. Then he tells him that if he kneels down in front of him, he might consider helping him since they are classmates. Hearing him badmouthing his homie, Sutilla asks Ye Qianxing the bully's name. As expected, Zhou Wei introduces himself in a very intimidating way and asks the same question to the young master. He even tells him that he is just a bumpkin and shamelessly asks for a room that even he cannot get. Zhou Wei reminds Sutilla that the people who go to that club know that they cannot easily access the best room. Hearing all that, Sutilla asks Zhou Wei if he thinks he is not qualified for the best room. Sutilla then asks the attendant in front of them if he is qualified to enter the best room. The attendant happily informs everyone that he is very qualified, revealing that he is the young master of the city. After that, Sutilla dramatically removes his hat to formally reveal himself and thanks the attendant. Zhou Wei is taken aback after realizing that he is in the presence of the city lord's son. Sutilla informs him that he is fully aware of his family's power and capability, but it's just nothing for him, making Zhou Wei run out of words. Moreover, Sutilla informs him that Ye Qianxing is his beloved homie, so Zhou Wei should be more polite when dealing with him the next time. Then he warns him that if he doesn't follow his request, he cannot blame him for what is about to happen to him. Realizing that he enters the war unprepared, Zhou Wei is muted and can only wonder how Ye Qianxing is connected and gets close to the young master. To top it all, Sutilla informs the attendant to put Zhou Wei's name on the Imperial Club's blacklist, and he is not allowed to set foot in that palace anymore. The angry Zhou Wei asks him what right he has to do what he did. He even added that not because he is the son of the mercenary city lord, he can do whatever he wants in that place. Pissed off by his rough attitude, Sutilla made him realize that he is not just a visitor in that place, considering he has access to the best room. And just like that, Zhou Wei realizes his role in the Imperial Club. Seeing him finally get a grasp of the situation, Sutilla approaches him to confirm that he is the boss of the Imperial Club, which surprises Ye Qianxing. Sheesh. Bro humbles him real quick. After knowing everything, Zhou Wei completely lost his balls to talk back to him. Sutilla then tells him that he is not welcome in that place. Then he politely tells him to get lost, and Bro wins the most savage character award. With just one flick of his finger, men in black suits appear and surround the group of Zhou Wei. Then, they politely tell them to leave as Sutila returns to Ye Qianxing. In that very embarrassing situation, Joey remembers what his father had told him before about the boss of the Imperial Club being shrouded in mystery. Moreover, he is told not to provoke him, who turns out to be Sutila. Ye Qianxing brings up the fact that he is the boss of the Imperial Club. However, Sutila informs him that he is just taking over the business that his dad doesn't want anymore. Despite being powerless in that place, Joey's pride won't allow him to do nothing. So he warns Ye Qianxing to better watch out, for the young master cannot protect him forever, and they leave the place. While walking out, Joey thinks that Ye Qianxing should not feel safe around him just because he has a prestigious family backing him up. On the other hand, Sutila tells him not to let Joey spoil his mood, and he invites him to the best room. The next day, the students are sent to the Demon Spirit Forest Gate. Here, a gatekeeper informs them what to expect inside the forest, especially about the evil spirits lurking around. The gatekeeper also advises them to keep their location within the outskirts as much as possible to avoid the risk of getting endangered. After that, the gatekeeper also informs everyone that for the sake of their safety, the Academy hired the Iron Blood mercenary to protect them from the shadows. That, however, should not mean they can act recklessly. Once a mercenary takes action, they have already failed the test. Students are fully aware of mercenary reputation, so they do not expect them to be willing to protect students. Realizing who they are, Ye Qianxing asks Sutila if they are in the same group as Kui Wu, which he confirms and reveals to him that Kui Wu has a high ranking in the mercenary. Sutila ensures he does not worry, for he knows they will not dare to touch students, making Ye Qianxing feel relieved. However, Ye Qianxing also reveals that he will not sit and do nothing if they dare to take advantage of the exam. The gatekeeper then explains the task that they need to do, which is to obtain an F-grade Evil Spirit Inner Core. He also tells them that if they are strong enough, they can get E-grade Inner Core, which is even better. The exam duration is 3 days, and if they do not return in 3 days, they will also fail. And just like that, the second task has started. Moments later, Ye Qianxing, Xiaoxiaoyi, and Sutila form a small group to explore the Demon Spirit Forest safely. While walking, Ye Qianxing asks Sutila if his spirit pet is really a Karen, which he confirms. This spirit pet is called Ice Karen, a Karen subspecies that belongs to the mutated frost types. It has 4-star growth type appraisal with F9 level. Frost Ground and Freezing Osmanthus are its special skills, while fire types are its weakness. On the other hand, its advancement condition is revealed, and its evolution path toward becoming an orthodox has been revealed. Sutila is flexing how handsome his spirit pet is and how rare it is. After hearing that, Ye Qianxing supports him, but he also points out how ordinary its name is, which is Da Bai, or literally Whitey. On the other hand, Sutila points out that they are just the same, considering the name of his spirit pet is 205. The two continue to low-key argue with each other when Xiaoxiaoyi sees a scorching earth flower, which is known to have roots that go deeper into the lava underground. Xiaoxiaoyi informs the two that the flower is very rare, and she feels lucky to find one in that place. She also added that her father told her that the flower would promote Huohuo to E-grade. All of a sudden, Sutila initiates to proceed with harvesting the whole plant. However, he is stopped by Ye Qianxing a few inches away from him harvesting the flower. Sheesh. That was a close call from wasting a very valuable item. Ye Qianxing explains to him that the flower's roots reach deeper into the lava underground, making it impossible to take the whole plant. Moreover, brute force will only make the whole plant be wasted, for the only correct way to harvest it is by picking only the petals. Realizing that he knows a lot, Sutila became even more in love with him. Sorry, I mean impressed with him. Of course, Xiaoxiaoyi is also there to praise him too. When Sutila tries to pick its petals, an evil spirit attacks him. Luckily, Whitey is there to cast a huge ice wall, blocking the enemy's attack, and Ye Qianxing manages to pull him just in time not to get caught in the attack. This evil spirit is called Scorching Earth Servant that belongs to the fire types. It has 3-star growth type appraisal with F9 level. Explosive Gun and Fire Blade are its special skills, while Water and Divine Tree types are its weakness. On the other hand, its advancement condition and evolution path are still unknown. It turns out that this evil spirit is fond of eating the Scorching Earth flower, so they are always present in places where the flower grows. Huohuo launches a flame strike against it, but the Scorching Earth Servant easily intercepts it with its power. Little did the evil spirit know Sutila already made his advances, commanding Whitey to cast Frost Ground, stopping it from moving away. After that, Sutila asks his spirit pet to deliver a finishing blow, freezing Osmanthus against the enemy. However, the scorching earth servant shatters the frost ground to free itself and the freezing Osmanthus before it even lands on its body. Suddenly, Ye Qianxing commands 205 to attack it with another fire strike. This attack, however, only burns a small portion of the enemy's face. All of a sudden, the scorching earth servant screeches in so much pain. Ye Qianxing explains that the most painful thing after getting hit by another fire strike is the burning of your soul. And just like that, the scorching earth servant is defeated and its body disintegrates in midair. On the other hand, Xiaoyi starts to worry as the petals of the scorching earth flower are withering away. Ye Qianxing believes that the plant itself must have gotten affected by the fight now. Without the support of healthy branches and leaves, the energy from scorching earth flower will begin to leak out. Xiaoyi wonders what they should do since the scorching earth flower is very rare to find. Ye Qianxing then suggests using the petals at that very moment. He crushes the scorching earth servant's inner core and combines it with the scorching earth flower's petals. Sutila cannot believe what he is witnessing, while Xiaoyi follows Ye Qianxing wholeheartedly. Ye Qianxing seeks the help of his spirit pet creation simulator to learn how to make an essence core that can advance Huo's level. Xiaoyi and Sutila wonder if he is a spirit pet nurturer, which he denies, but he admits that he knows how it works. And just like that, a disgusting poop-like essence core has been made for Huo to swallow. Ye Qianxing explains that while it appears unappealing, it is very effective. That said, Xiaoyi orders Huo to swallow it, and the spirit pet reluctantly agrees. All of a sudden, Sutila starts calling Ye Qianxing's attention, and he explains that several experts do not know what his mutated spirit pet needs for its advancement. In short, Sutila asks for Ye Qianxing's help, to which he agrees, for he is confident that the items Sutila needs for his spirit pet's advancement are also found in the forest. However, he needs to focus first on the advancement process of Huo. That said, Ye Qianxing commands it to rise from the ashes again. And just like that, it skyrocketed like a comet, and when it was about to descend in their location, Ye Qianxing asked Sutila to use the frost barrier to protect themselves from the flaming spirit landing. Sutila is amazed to see Huo turning into an egg, which Ye Qianxing explains to be the start of its rebirth. Then, when it lands on the ground, the egg cracks and causes a massive explosion. Fortunately, they are inside an ice barrier and they don't end up like a human barbecue. Ye Qianxing is happy that the result is a big success, while Sutila cannot hide his amazement at everything he has just witnessed. This spirit pet is called Fire Finch or Phoenix that belongs to the divine fire types. It has 6 1/2 star growth type appraisal with E5 level. Sky-burning plumes, flaming slash, and fire immunity are its special skills, while divine water types are its weakness. On the other hand, its advancement condition and evolution path are still unknown. After Huo flies majestically in midair, it lands on Xiaoyi's shoulder, and she happily thanks Ye Qianxing for helping her. Ye Qianxing, on the other hand, is simply happy to help her. Sutila praises Ye Qianxing's skills and knowledge, and he asks him if he can help Whitey already since Huo is already done evolving. That said, Ye Qianxing assesses Whitey and figures out that there's a high chance for it to turn into a true Kirin. Ye Qianxing explains that it is a bit difficult, but Sutila tells Ye Qianxing that it doesn't matter and asks him what he will need to help it become a Kirin. Moreover, he also wonders if his spirit pet will also turn into an egg. Seeing him very dedicated to having Whitey evolve, Ye Qianxing reveals that since Kirin has the blood of a dragon, they will need to give him dragon's breath. However, that is the biggest challenge, considering dragons are extremely rare no matter where they look. Day 2 arrived, and the three decided to go to the Snow Peak Mountain of Demon Spirit Forest. The place is very cold, and they believe that there are many frost-type evil spirits residing in the area. Despite the hardships they experience in facing the cold, the trio still continues to move forward to help Sutila in evolving his spirit pet. This is highly appreciated by the young master, so he thanks Ye Qianxing with a very sweet wink. Ye Qianxing reiterated that he had already agreed to help him, so he would not go back on his words. That makes Sutila wonder why he is poor, considering his great skills. Ye Qianxing, however, is completely clueless about what he is talking about. He cannot comprehend the relationship between skills in nurturing spirit pets and being poor, which shocks both Xiaoyi and Sutila. The young master explains to him that if he becomes a spirit nurturer, many people will look for him, considering his great skills. Moreover, spirit pet masters are willing to spend money just to look for a spirit nurturer to advance their spirit pet's level. Xiaoyi further explains that even powerful spirit masters would not dare to offend a spirit nurturer. After hearing their explanation, Ye Qianxing realizes how many opportunities he will get just by becoming a spirit nurturer. While they are conversing, Ye Qianxing feels that an entity is eyeing them. That's when he gets weirded out by the fact that they have entered Snow Peak Mountain for quite some time, but still, they have never encountered a single evil spirit. Ye Qianxing then commands Huo to spit some flames in a certain direction. To their surprise, the wood that they see are body parts of the snow wolf that are hiding under the thick snow. And just like that, the trio finds themselves getting surrounded by a pack of snow wolves. Oh my, this smells like trouble to me. All of a sudden, the snow wolves make their advances. Sutila starts worrying because the snow wolves are known to fight their enemies at all costs, despite having no special skills. Ye Qianxing, being the bright person he is, already figured out the best way to handle them. That is to defeat the leader of the pack first. This evil spirit is called Snow Wolf King that belongs to the mutated frost types. It has 2-star appraisal with E5 level. Control the pack and Ice Storm are its special skills, while fire types are its weakness. On the other hand, its advancement condition and evolution path are still unknown. Ye Qianxing didn't want to waste any time, so he proceeded with his plan. To do this, he asks for the help of Xiaoyi and Sutila to cover him up as he reaches the Snow Wolf King. Ye Qianxing continues to move toward the Snow Wolf King while Sutila and Whitey are trying to hold several snow wolves. Then, with a single nether fire strike from 205, the soul of the Snow Wolf King is burned down, too, leading to its demise. Ye Qianxing commanded 205 to make his brothers disperse, and just like that, the pack loses its will to fight and stay away from them with a single howl. 205 literally took the role of an alpha. With its Cerberus lineage, 205 can suppress canine evil spirits or spirit pets. To top it all, 205 just killed Snow Wolf King, giving him dominion over betas. After killing the Snow Wolf King, Ye Qianxing obtains its inner core. That said, they only need a cold-expelling flower to make Weddy advance to the next level, which makes Sutila very excited. Moments later, they reach a very mysterious lake. Ye Qianxing finds it very weird that the temperature of the water is at least 30 degrees below zero, but there is no sign of ice in the water. Soon after, some bubbles appear in the middle of the lake, and the trio looks forward to whatever might appear in it. Voila, a blue whale appears right before their eyes. This evil spirit is called Void Blue Whale, from Kun lineage, that belongs to the water and space types. It has 3-star growth type appraisal with S6 level. Belly of the Universe and Water Spray are its special skills, while frost types are its weakness. On the other hand, its advancement condition and evolution path are still unknown. Xiaoyi wonders what kind of evil spirit it is, so Ye Qianxing explains to her that it is a void blue whale, an extremely rare species that only a few people have seen. Hearing that, Xiaoyi is astounded by how much knowledge he has. Sutila, on the other hand, wonders if it is dangerous, so Ye Qianxing informs him it is not, for it is only an F-grade and non-aggressive evil spirit. That said, after noticing humans, the void blue whale dives deep into the water. Ye Qianxing doesn't want to miss the opportunity to make it his spirit pet, so he removes his jacket and dives into the water along with 205 to chase it. Xiaoyi can't help but worry about him doing such reckless actions. Apparently, the void blue whale swims so fast, and Ye Qianxing can barely keep up with it. What do you expect from a water creature, bro? As Ye Qianxing dives deeper, he notices that cold-expelling flowers are grown on the lake floor. Cold-expelling flowers are rare items that can be used to repel cold, and they can dissolve frost-type energy and frost-type toxins. Ye Qianxing is amazed to see the item that they are looking for. This also made him understand why the lake water is freezing cold, but it is not frozen. However, Ye Qianxing knows his priority, which is to capture the void blue whale. So he swims as fast as he can and teams up with 205 to corner the evil spirit on both sides. Ye Qianxing is impressed by 205 natural hunting instincts. That said, they manage to put the void blue whale in a situation where it cannot go anywhere. Soon after, Ye Qianxing emerges from the waters and drags the void blue whale with him. When Sutila asks what he caught for, Ye Qianxing tells him that he is making soup from the fish he captured. Ye Qianxing asks the void blue whale why it is scared. He then added that if it doesn't want to get eaten as food, it should become his spirit pet, to which the void blue whale instantly agreed. Ye Qianxing is happy at how easily it agrees to become his spirit pet, so he gives it a present. And just like that, the contract between him and the void blue whale is made. As expected, the spirit pet creation simulator will appear after Ye Qianxing converts an evil spirit into his spirit pet. Not to mention, after giving the blue water cube item to the void blue whale, its hidden lineage gets activated, and it evolves into a mythical creature called Kun. This evil spirit is called Void Kun from Fish and Kun lineage that belongs to the space types. It has 5-star growth type appraisal with F9 level. Belly of the universe, spatial shift, and dimensional space are its special skills, while frost types are its weakness. On the other hand, its advancement condition and evolution path are still unknown. Just like the contract with 205, the Spirit Pet Creation Simulator asks Ye Qianxing to select one skill shared as soon as possible. And just like that, Ye Qianxing chooses Spatial Shift, which allows him to teleport at a certain range. To him, although Spatial Shift doesn't have any attacking power, it is an extremely useful space type and support type skill to have. Xiaoyi wonders how it can float in mid-air while Sutila is left in awe by its cool appearance. Ye Qianxing explains to them that it can float because it evolved into a Kun that has spatial powers, which amuses Sutila. Xiaoyi, on the other hand, knows that a Kun is the legendary beast that can evolve into a Peng, and she feels bad that he did not decide to become a spirit nurturer. Not long after, Ye Qianxing asked Void Kun to use its spatial shift, and it suddenly disappeared. All of a sudden, it appears again, but they notice that the lake water instantly freezes. Ye Qianxing explains that the lake freezes because he commands Void Kun to harvest all the flowers on the lake floor. Just like what was mentioned earlier, the cold-expelling flowers keep the lake water from freezing. So without it, the lake will simply freeze. After hearing what he did, Xiaoyi wonders if the harvested flowers are not damaged since Void Kun ate them. Ye Qianxing explains that when the Void Kun ate the harvested cold-expelling flowers, they were not sent literally inside its belly but into a completely different space. And just like that, Ye Qianxing proceeds to make an essence core that will evolve Whitey, and asks Tela to make his spirit pet ready, to which he happily agrees. Moments later, Sutila motivates Whitey to just swallow the essence core, even if it is rock solid, for it is also for its own sake. After completely swallowing the essence core, strong freezing energy is released from Whitey's body. To not freeze, Xiaoyi asks Guohuo to help them resist the frost energy, so a flaming sphere envelopes the three. All of a sudden, Ye Qianxing felt a strong presence near them. Voila! A Tempest Slicer strikes and almost isekai them to a new world. Luckily, before the Tempest Strike hits them, Ye Qianxing manages to drive the two down to the ground with him. It turns out that the attack comes from no other than Ye Qianxing's nemesis, Zhou Wei. He happens to team up with Kuei Wu and his men to get revenge against Ye Qianxing. Sutila wonders why the two of them are together, so Zhou Wei explains that he is supposed to convince the Iron Blood mercenaries to work with him to deal with Ye Qianxing. However, it turns out that Kuei Wu has wrath against him, too, so they quickly decide to team up and take their revenge. Kuei Wu tells him that, at first, he thought Ye Qianxing was very influential. However, he finds out that he is just an orphan with no background, so Kuei Wu becomes so happy that he can kill him without any worries. As usual, Sutila stands for Ye Qianxing and dares Kuei Wu to try it under his presence. Kuei Wu then laughs and tells the young master that he will not dare to hurt him, but reiterates that Ye Qianxing is a completely different matter. All of a sudden, Kuei Wu asks Sutila if he thinks his father will want to make enemies with the Iron Blood mercenary because of some unrelated person. Hearing all the threats, Ye Qianxing asks them if they think they can really kill him. Zhou Wei reminds Ye Qianxing that there are 5 people with E-grade spirit pets on his side, so he asks Ye Qianxing if he thinks he can defeat them, considering they only have 2 spirit pets that can battle for them at that very moment. Despite all that, the 3 stood their ground fearlessly. Meanwhile, The impatient Kui Wu stops the petty talk and initiates to begin the fight. The spirit pets start to get pumped up and ready to fight with their utmost power. That said, Ye Qianxing instructs Xiak Xiaoyi to command Huo Huo to hold the flame ape and tusk boar. Meanwhile, Ye Qianxing orders 205 to take care of the berserk bear and wrestling kangaroo. Hearing all that, Sutila tells the two not to aim for victory and wait until Wetty's evolution is completed. Then, they will win the fight altogether. Sutila asks Ye Qianxing who will handle Zhou Wei's twin-blade mantis. With oozing confidence, Ye Qianxing tells him to leave them to him. Zhou Wei starts mocking Ye Qianxing that he decided to attack him without his spirit pet. On the other hand, Ye Qianxing doesn't listen to him and proceeds to execute his plans and tells Zhou Wei that killing him is not something he can do. All of a sudden, the twin-blade mantis attacks Ye Qianxing, but he uses his shared skill spatial shift to avoid getting cut in half. Seeing him disappear, Zhou Wei is shocked by what he just witnessed. And just like that, Ye Qianxing appears from behind him and asks him where he is looking. Being caught unprepared, Ye Qianxing easily grabs and strangles the neck of Zhou Wei. Ye Qianxing then tries to make Zhou Wei his hostage to stop the Iron Blood mercenary from attacking. He also warns them that he will break Zhou Wei's neck if they do not stop. Kui Wu, however, simply laughs at him and tells Ye Qianxing is mistaken, for they do not have business with Zhou Wei. That said, he tells Ye Qianxing that he can kill Zhou Wei however he likes. Ye Qianxing then asks Zhou Wei if he heard what Kui Wu just said, and he makes him feel bad that no one seems to care for him. Zhou Wei begs Ye Qianxing to spare his life and end all the grudges from that moment, even offering to help them deal with the Iron Blood mercenary. However, Ye Qianxing reminded him of how he begged him before to spare 205's life. He further tells him that he originally only wanted to teach him a lesson, but since he dares to hire people just to get rid of him, Ye Qianxing has no other choice but to kill him first. And just like that, Ye Qianxing completely isekai him to another world where he will be reborn as a useless poor boy. Meanwhile, Kui Wu saw how Ye Qianxing killed Zhou Wei without batting an eye and realized how he underestimated him. Soon after, the twin-blade mantis went berserk after his master got killed. Luckily, he teleports just in time before getting cut into two. Kui Wu gets irritated that the twin-blade mantis cannot catch Ye Qianxing. That said, he orders it to kill Ye Qianxing's companion instead. Hearing Kui Wu's plan, Ye Qianxing commands his Void Kun to send Xiak Xiaoyi and Sutila to a dimensional space before they even get killed. Instantly teleporting into a mysterious space, Sutila wonders where they are. Xiak Xiaoyi, on the other hand, knows that they are inside a dimensional space created by the Void Kun. After that, Kui Wu realizes that Ye Qianxing actually has a space type of spiritual pet. Ye Qianxing quickly handles his enemies, for the two can only stay in the dimensional space for half a minute. Not to mention, he is starting to run out of strength due to excessive use of spatial shift. As the four members of the Iron Blood mercenary attack Ye Qianxing, White's energy changes, which is felt by Sutila. And just like that, the evolution of Whitey has been completed, unleashing strong frost power around the area. Behold the presence of an evolved, majestic, mutated Kirin. Witnessing this, Ye Qianxing felt very happy that their efforts paid off and the evolution succeeded. Sutila did not waste any more time, and he commanded his spirit pet to kill all of their enemies. Whitey casts Frost Ground and Freezing Osmanthus simultaneously, easily defeating the rampaging spirit pets. Meanwhile, 205 sends the wrestling kangaroo to the afterlife. Seeing how powerful they are, the Iron Blood mercenary tries to escape but fails. All of a sudden, Ye Qianxing teleported to Kui Wu's location with 205 to block the enemies from fleeing. The angry Ye Qianxing tells them that since they want to kill him, they should be ready to be killed as well. Realizing that they are already surrounded, Kui Wu reminded Ye Qianxing that they are the infamous Iron Blood mercenaries. Killing them will definitely be a huge problem for them since the group will target them. The badass Ye Qianxing tells him that if the Iron Blood mercenary would like to take revenge, he doesn't mind sending them all to hell with them. Bro is ready to isekai the whole mercenary group. What a legend. And just like that, Ye Qianxing fearlessly overpowered Kui Wu. He smashes Kui Wu's head on a rock wall, killing him in the process. On the other hand, his friends and their spirit pets handled the rest of the enemies. Finally, 205 gets his most satisfying revenge after killing Kui Wu's spirit pet. Meanwhile, Ye Qianxing tells to the corpse of Kuai-Wu that he is right, for being a spirit pet master is not all sunshine and rainbows. He even added a spirit master has to normalize living a life where they cannot ensure their own safety. Meanwhile, Sutila and Xiaoyu feel weird, for it is their first time killing people. All of a sudden, Sutila starts to wonder what Ye Qianxing is actually doing. It turns out that Ye Qianxing is planning to hide the truth and put the blame on the snow wolves for the death of their enemies. Then, since the tusk boar is burnt by Huo, it will be the only flaw in the situation, which is why he hides it using the dimensional space of Void Kun. Sutila cannot hide his fear of Ye Qianxing because of his unnerving calmness, despite the fact that he just committed a crime. Bro turns himself into a complete 360, and now he's ready to crush everything that enters his way. For Ye Qianxing, ever since the descent of the evil spirits, mankind can never return to the old peaceful times. Evil spirits are their enemies, but they are not the only enemies. He believes that even brothers can kill each other in the face of profit. Therefore, in a chaotic world, being kind to enemies means seeking your own death. Later that night, the three return to the demon spirit forest area. Here they cook the tusk boar as their food. Sutila expresses how much he likes to savor the meat of a spirit pet more than regular pork. Xiaoyu, however, tells him to keep quiet, for if people find out that they ate the meat of a spirit pet, they will be cursed to death, considering not many people can have them. Soon after, Ye Qianxing arrives to offer them water to drink. After informing the two that everything turns out well and that their mission is already completed, Ye Qianxing invites them to train on the last remaining day that they have in the demon spirit forest, which Sutila agrees with. Meanwhile, Xiaoyu felt the presence of someone near them. All of a sudden, someone appears from the dark. Ye Qianxing immediately recognizes that the girl is Ye Qinghun. Apparently, Ye Qinghun is filled with bruises all over her body, and she badly wants to quench her thirst. Since she is craving to drink water, Ye Qinghun falls on her knees to drink Ye Qianxing's liquid. And just like that, she collapsed before he could even let her drink his liquid. Sutila asks Ye Qianxing if he personally knows the beautiful lady, which he confirms and reveals that she is his roommate, as expected. Sutila gets very excited after knowing the details, and he starts developing some plot twists in his mind. Seeing him jumping to a conclusion, Ye Qianxing clarifies to Sutila that they are just literally roommates. So, whatever he is thinking is definitely not the reality. After a failed attempt to have Ye Qinghun drink the liquid in the bottle, Ye Qianxing tries to drink his own liquid and transfer it over the mouth of Ye Qinghun. However, just before he can proceed with his plan, Xiaoyu appears with a dead serious face and asks him what he is trying to do. Ye Qianxing explains that Ye Qinghun is in terrible condition to the point where she cannot even drink water on her own, so he is just helping her. As expected from the jealous Xiaoyu, she would not let any girl have a taste of Ye Qianxing's kissable lips, so she volunteered to do it instead. After that, Ye Qianxing gives his bottle of water to Xiaoyu. She drinks his liquid and transfers it to Ye Qinghun's mouth. As expected from the boys, they enjoy every single moment of that wonderful sight, which they can only witness live once in a blue moon. Gently, Xiaoyu lifted her head after feeding her all of Ye Qianxing's liquid. However, she wonders why she is not awake yet. That said, Ye Qianxing suggested doing some CPR with Ye Qinghun, and Xiaoyu asked how to perform it. And just like that, Ye Qianxing is ready to perform CPR with her. But his whole body is shaking since he has to press harder and put all the pressure on Ye Qinghun's chest. Seeing it, Sutila loses his mind and asks Ye Qianxing what he thinks he is touching. Then, as usual, Ye Qianxing explains to him that he is only saving her life. Little does he know Ye Qinghun is already awake, and he still continues to press her big missiles. That said, she asks Ye Qianxing if her balloons are big. In shock, Ye Qianxing instantly removes his hand from her and immediately explains that he is just trying to save her. On the other hand, Ye Qinghun seems to be acting weird and remembers Ye Qianxing. This, of course, was noticed by Ye Qianxing because the Ye Qianxing he knows will surely be clamoring to kill him after what he did to her. However, for some unknown reason, she doesn't seem to care at all. Ye Qinghun tells him to call her big sis because she has a big sisterly plot. Hearing that, Ye Qianxing gets completely confused, while Sutila thinks of another plot twist in his plot-filled mind. Suddenly, Ye Qianxing approaches Xiaoyi to ask her if she is the one who just kissed her. After confirming, she declares that she is one of her people from then on, leaving Xiaoyi wondering if she is teasing her. Ye Qianxing knows that her cold personality is completely different from the gangster vibe she is showing at that moment. That said, Ye Qianxing wonders if she has split personality disorder. Ye Qianxing asks her if she is really Ye Qianxing and what exactly happened to her body. She did not give her a direct answer though and just sat to eat their food. She further tells him that all he needs to do is treat her like Ye Qianxing. As for the wounds, she explains that she got careless with an E-grade mission and almost died. After figuring things out, Ye Qianxing thinks an E-grade mission can be a good training opportunity for them, so he decides to help her with her mission in exchange for an equally split commission. And after some convincing, Ye Qianxing allows Ye Qianxing to help in the mission. Hearing that, Xiaoyi and Sutila volunteer to help, too, and everyone gets their needed rest that night for their upcoming mission the next day. The next morning, the group delved deeper into the forest and saw the tree evil spirit. Sutila cannot believe that the evil spirit looks like an old tree. This evil spirit is called the celestial ancient tree that belongs to the plant types. It has 4-star appraisal with E8 level. Entangling vines, life absorption, and regeneration are its special skills, while fire and demon types are its weakness. On the other hand, its advancement condition and evolution path are still unknown. Ye Qianxing knows that defeating the celestial ancient tree will not be easy. All of a sudden, Ye Qianxing version 2 opens her gate of contract and summons her evil spirit pet. This evil spirit is called Earth Rock Bear that belongs to the rock and fighting types. It has 3-star growth type appraisal with D1 level. Powerful Fist and Stone Soul Blast are its special skills, while water and coast types are its weakness. On the other hand, its advancement condition and evolution path are still unknown. She immediately commands the Earth Rock Bear to cut down the tree. Meanwhile, Ye Qianxing becomes more confused, knowing that Ye Qianxing's spirit pet is Blackie or the Swift Thunder Panther. And just like that, the celestial ancient tree unleashes its vines to attack its approaching enemy. Seeing this, Ye Qianxing alerted everyone about the tentacle monster. The Earth Rock Bear manages to pass through the wild vines. When it reaches the celestial ancient tree, the spirit pet grabs the trunk of the tree with its left paw and the other side with its right paw. That said, the Earth Rock Bear manages to hug the tree while trying to pull it out from the ground. All of a sudden, the vines of the trees go wild, and they constrict the spirit pet. Ye Qianxing tells Sutila that the celestial ancient tree is not that very strong as compared to other evil spirits in the demon spirit forest. However, it is very hard to deal with. Soon after, they all got caught up and constricted the tree vines of the celestial ancient tree. While in that very dangerous situation, Xiaoyi commands Huo to burn away the vines of the evil spirit. Despite burning its vines, it is still not enough to defeat it since it can regenerate in a very fast manner. It also turns out that the vines are absorbing their vitality, which explains its fast regeneration. Ye Qianxing knows that they are in a grave situation, so he thinks of an effective way to defeat the evil spirit. After thinking critically, he decided to use Nether Fire Strike, which he finds very effective against the celestial ancient tree. When Ye Qianxing figures out how to defeat the celestial ancient tree, he commands 205 to burn down the whole tree with its Nether Fire Strike. And just like that, they defeated the evil spirit and completed the mission. Since Ye Qianxing is the one who managed to kill the celestial ancient tree, Ye Qianxing decides to let him have the inner core, life source. After knowing that it contains a huge amount of life force, Ye Qianxing happily keeps it. Moments later, Ye Qianxing parted ways with the three. As they bid farewell to each other, Ye Qianxing reminded him of the 50% commission from her. After some petty talks, the three decided to return to the gate to declare the completion of their test. At the gate, Professor Milker is waiting for the students who passed the test. After some sort of sorting out the students, Professor Milker announces that there will be a special class above the top class. This special class qualifies only the top 5 students who pass the finals. That said, Professor Milker reveals their names. They are as follows: Xiaoyi, Sutila, Zhou Lang, Zhou Yuwei, and Ye Qianxing. After revealing the 5 students from the special calls, Professor Milker asks them to follow him. And just like that, a new classic 5-man team has been born, awaiting more challenges and adventure from the chaotic world they live in.